Welcome to the podcast of iPen Magazine. I'm Joanne Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan, and I'd like to thank you all for joining in. We're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. So, jumpstarting.
Yes.
We said we wanted to talk about this and get our audience to understand that every now and then you need a jumpstart.
Exactly. And you can jumpstart from any point of your life. It doesn't matter if you're talking about jumpstarting a career. It doesn't matter if you're saying that you want to have a new image, a personal look, or you've been down and out and you just need a kickstart, which is another form of jumpstart. But right now, let's go with how to turn some things into money-making things.
Wow.
What about a hobby that turns into a business?
Well, you know what? There's so many businesses that we might not know the background on, but a lot of them started with a hobby.
Yes.
A lot of them started where they found out there was need, or they found out that they wanted to do something to make just a little bit of extra money, and they found out that it would turn into something lucrative and turned it into a business. I can think of many things that people have done, and all of a sudden the next thing you know, it's taken off and gone. So hobbies into business is a big thing.
Yes. It's something that we have to think on and think about. But most of the people that I know that turned a hobby into a business, they had no idea how great they were until someone said, whether it was sewing or cooking or speaking, have you ever thought of turning that into a business?
Yes, and the one thing that we have to keep in mind though, when we turn that hobby into a business, you've now jump-started to a whole nother level. It's a whole new venture when you say, I've got to fill an order, or when you say, I want to fill an order.
Yes.
It's a whole different culture when you say, okay, I can sit down and not have to do this, but then you got 25 more projects that you got to get done. So even with that jumpstart, you got to jumpstart your system. You got to develop a new system, a new way of doing things.
So what I'm hearing is that we've got to have a plan of action to start a business.
Yeah, you do. And you can jumpstart that too. It's not like you can't get it started. It's just that you have to set yourself in a whole different mindset. It's no longer a leisurely, I like to knit and I like to make quilts and booties and hats and scarves. It's no longer leisurely when you got 4 or 5 orders that are sitting there waiting. Now you have to plan. When are you going to do your knitting? Plan. When are you going to buy your materials? Plan. What are you going to do to get them delivered to the person that has paid for your services? So there's a lot to jump-starting your business from a hobby, but how wonderful it is to have a job that you like.
That's it. Because when you enjoy your work, you want to continue and you want to be a person of excellence because you want that cooking or that speaking or that writing to be up to par. I would suggest that you always go to someone that's already in that business, that's doing well, not just anyone, but someone that is actually quote unquote successful in that business so that you can have some backing on that.
And not only that, the thing about taking that hobby into a business, don't think that good old Uncle Sam won't be looking for you to identify what you're doing and what class it fits in. So we have to give you those little warnings ahead of time that a business is a business and a hobby is a hobby.
Yes.
But you can jumpstart your comfort by saying, hey, I could retire from this job that I don't like and go to a job that I do like, which is the hobby. You know, you can develop that, but know what you're doing ahead of time.
Yes.
Make plans for it. It's just like making plans for that vacation where you know you're going to have fun. You still make plans.
That's right.
You know, so make plans for your hobby to become a business.
Yes.
And understand what it entails.
Yes. And with that plan of action, you're going to look at the legal and business side of it.
Yes.
Because now you don't want to get in trouble legally because you didn't have maybe a license to do this, or you wouldn't be able to cook unless you had an industrial oven.
Right.
These are just some of the little things that people don't think about, and then they get frustrated when it doesn't work. And don't understand this here is that you're not going to be on a profit making level year one.
No. No, it takes time.
It takes time.
And sometimes it takes longer than what even you think it would take. You would think that instantly, well, I sold over 100 to my friends, so I know I can sell 200. Well, if your friends already bought 100 of whatever your product is, you're on a brand new course for the next 100.
Yes.
You can't, if they already have it, you either have to come up with something new, or you got to look for a whole new audience. So that's a whole different topic of discussion. That's a whole different way. But just to let you know, your hobbies can become your business.
Yes.
And not only that, you become almost brand new to even your family members when you become that person that develops that hobby into a business. You re-enter your own world in a whole different way. You step into a whole different mold, shape, identifier, because you got to brand yourself.
Yes.
So all of that is another topic for another day, but we're letting you know, get those hobbies together, because those hobbies could be coins, dollars. It could add up.
And it's called Rediscovering Yourself.
Yes.
And there are people that have no idea how to jumpstart, and they say, what am I good at? So we'll have to sit back and find out what is it that you're enjoying on a day-to-day basis. What have you had other people to say that you're good at? Whether you're at church, whether you're socializing, something usually comes out that you're not paying attention to. And it can be as simple as that. That is how you want to jumpstart and rediscover yourself. There are people that simply like putting on cosmetics. If you like playing with the lip color, looking for different shaped faces, then there you are. You're in a world of cosmetics. There are people that say, oh, I felt so bad today, or I felt so happy, I had to put it on paper. I think that's called writing.
Yes.
And so those are the things on how to rediscover who you are. Do you just like looking at hairstyle books, or you're looking at the television and saying, that look a hot mess?
Right.
Or you're saying, I could do that. Look at that.
Right.
Look at that color. Look at that straightening.
Right.
That's rediscovering yourself.
And not only that, you never know what you can do when you don't put the task forward. Just try. Try it and see. It doesn't have to be something that's permanent. It could be something that you've done through habit over the years, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. Someone has a problem with a hem, or someone has a problem with making a dress, or designing some clothes, or having pictures drawn to make the designs, and you know how to look at the picture and just sew it up and do whatever needs to be done. That may very well be your hobby. But if you rediscover yourself, you can rediscover yourself as a seamstress, as a fashion designer, as someone who puts clothes on models when it's time for a fashion show. You never know what you'll find about yourself if you don't sit back and you look at some of the things that you do. What do you want to retire to? What do you want? Do you want to work all the rest of the time? Is there something that you have an interest in? Get something and get interested.
Yeah.
Because it can turn into you being different and understanding the differences within you. Something like you said earlier that someone points out. It could make a difference. And if you could retire to something that is so much you, how much happier would you be to know that you don't have to work all the way until you're in your 70s or later, because that's what they want us to do. But you don't have to do that. You can actually take whatever it is and rediscover yourself. If you like to travel, just travel. You may find that you like collecting items. You might find peace in going to different places. We all talk about that bucket list.
Yeah.
Well, you can discover some of the things on your bucket list that make you a different person.
There are so many careers. I mean, just like a food connoisseur.
Yes.
You get to travel and just eat. Can you imagine that?
Not only that, I think I enjoy the different flavors of wine, and what wine goes with different food. Yes, you could find all kind of things that you indulge in, and you rediscover that you like that. Going to different jazz shows, going to different theater shows, musicals. You may find that these are things that you didn't have time for before. You're making time for it now. So you can find yourself.
Have you ever been curious about what goes on behind the scene?
Yes.
When you go to a play, when you go to a movie, even at a doctor's office, you see the physician, but you don't know the people that it takes to run
that
a
office.
There are so many things behind the scenes.
And I think that's expanding your knowledge too, Joanne.
It is.
I mean, if you actually look at some of the things that go on and you all often wonder, well, how did they get that done?
Yes.
We have the world opened up to us now with knowledge. I remember when I was younger, you had to go to the library, get the library card, pick out a certain some
I
of the
remember
books.
those days.
Or if you had the privilege like I did at home, we had a set of Collier encyclopedias. My mother was famous with that. Don't ask me, go look it up. You know, so I had to look up a whole lot. But now it's right at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You can look up just about anything. And if you're the lazy type of researcher, you can just speak it into the phone, and all of a sudden the phone will go wherever you want it to go, or the computer, whatever you're using. These smart technology will give you some of the resources that you need to expand your knowledge, learn a little bit. And you don't have to be A1 on point, but at least you know what's going on.
Exactly. So can you see how this is leading you to jumpstarting your life and rediscovering your life? Now, I know Nanette has a word for that.
Of course I do. Of course I do. Now, these are my words. These are just things that I come up with. Those who fear the jump, who hesitate to restart, who limit their possibilities, can't imagine what it's like to fly.
That is wonderful. It's the end of another episode. And I'd like to take time to say thanks for all the followers. And I'd like to thank you for attending iPen Magazine. We'd love to see you again.
Yes, and if you're not talking about it to someone else, tune in for us every Thursday to Let's Talk About It.
On this podcast, I'm Joanne Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan. Thank you for coming in.